Hey, welcome back to the channel, fellow journeymen and apprentices. Hey, it's great to be back. It's been a little bit since we've had some content. It's the holiday season, so we've been busy as a family, but here we are, we're in the kitchen, and we're bringing a smoked mac and cheese to you guys, and I can't wait for this. We roasted some poblano peppers. We're gonna go ahead and dice up, and we're gonna do some steps to these to get them prepped, and we're gonna get this thing going and into the smoker. Alright guys, we're going to take these peppers and we're going to pull the stems. That one came off nicely. Dig in here. Our goal here is to get the seeds out, stems out. We're going to put a slit right here in this pepper. Scrape out all these seeds. Like so. That's what I love about having a butcher block countertop. All of our food prep we do right on this. This works out really great. We don't want big chunks of pepper in here, but we want nice little 3/8 to 1/4 inch diameter size pepper chunks in this. All right guys, so here we are. We have a 16-ounce pack of pasta, and you can use whatever type you like. I like these little spiral ones. They tend to collect more cheese on them, so we're gonna go ahead and put this in our boiling water. Get it all in there. Our goal here is to cook this about 2 to 3 minutes under the designated time that they have on the instructions, because this is going to go back into the smoker for a couple hours. So on these noodles they said 10 minutes. We're going to set a timer for 8 minutes and pull them just a little shy. I'm also going to take a good pinch of kosher salt here. I'm going to put it in there, and one more just for good measure. Now we're going to get these noodles moving around a little bit. And we're going to go medium-high heat. We just want a nice, soft, rolling boil on these. We don't want a rapid boil. While our noodles are taking off there in that boil, let's go ahead and get this tablespoon of butter into our cast iron pan. Looking to melt this butter down here. And we're going to mix our breadcrumbs in with it. We're just cooking these to a nice golden brown, and then we'll be discarding these out of this pan afterwards. You can see here we have our nice golden brown forming here on these panko crumbs. These are going to be a nice little topping to this mac and cheese. A little crunch, a little cream. Not about you guys, but I'm all about the texture too. Here we are. We have our half a cup of butter here, 1 stick. And we're going to go ahead and start making our roux. We get this butter melted down. And actually we're going to go in with our whisk here. And the key factor here is we let our butter sit out and get to room temperature before we started this, about 3 hours prior to this cook. And we also put our 2 cups of whipping cream and our 2 cups of whole milk in containers to let them sit out as well, about 3 hours ahead of time. You don't want to shock your recipe with cold ingredients. You want everything to just merge together real nice and easy. Butter is nice and melted. A little bit of simmer going on there. We're going to go ahead and mix in our half a cup of flour here. I'm going to whisk this together really nice. We're just trying to make a roux here on a low heat. The key is to stir this. You can see if you let it sit, it starts to boil a little bit on the bottom. You just want to keep on stirring. Stir, stir, stir. We're going to add in now our whole milk, a little at a time here. About half of it, and we're going to continue to stir. Oh, look at that. Add a little bit more. The key is not to put this all in all at once. We're just trying to make this into a nice creamy mixture right now. This is the foundation for the mac and cheese. That's going to give it the creaminess. So it's starting to thicken up again. We're going to go back in with the rest of the milk. And there we have our 2 cups mixed in. Real quick here, we're going to mix in our seasonings. 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of ground mustard, and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Get that in there. 1½ tablespoons of minced garlic. Mix this all up here. Turn our heat up just a tick. We don't want to scorch this stuff, but we do want to keep it cooking. I'm doing this mixing for roughly about 3 to 5 minutes here. And let's go ahead and enter half of our heavy whipping cream. Approximately half of it. There we go. Continue to mix. And back in with the other half. Now I shook our heavy whipping cream, made it a little frothy before I poured it in this container. Should not be concerned about that at all. We're going to go ahead and start mixing our cheeses in with this after we take it off the heat. Alright guys, so we just took this off the stove. It's nice and hot. We have our 8 ounces of Gruyere cheese here. It's smoked, that we shredded up ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. Give it a little mixture here. We're going to come in with our smoked Gouda cheese. Get it mixed. Come in with our white cheddar. I'm leaving a little bit of cheeses left over in the piles, so at the end we can kind of top this off with all those extras. And let's come in now with our cheddar. Use all that. And now let's come in with our poblanos here. See there, we don't want in there. And mix these in. I'd say it's probably about close to 2/3, 3/4 of a cup of poblanos there. We're going to mix those in. Our stovetop is still hot, so I'm going to set this back on it. Alright, so here we have just a little bit of butter. We're going to put it in this cast iron because this is the pan that we're going to be cooking in today out on the smoker. And I just want to give this a nice little thin coating of butter so that our mix of our cheeses and our pastas don't stick to it. Alright guys, so here's our cooked pasta. We cooked this just a couple minutes under the recommendation on the package, just so it wasn't overcooked. That's the key here. You don't want to overcook your pasta. We have our cheeses nice and melted down. Let's go ahead and get this mixed in with this. Just like so. Oop, noodle down. We're going to stir this mixture together here. Just looking to get all these noodles nicely coated before we return it back to the cast iron. Now let's go ahead and put this over here. And let's start dumping half of this mixture of mac and cheese into this pan. And we're going to take a little break there. We're going to level it out in the bottom. Get it nice and spread out here, and we're going to come in with a layer of our Gruyere cheese here first. And then our smoked Gouda. A little bit of this yellow cheddar. And now we're going to come back and pour the rest of our mac and cheese on top of this. I think I pronounced that cheese wrong. It's actually pronounced Gruyere. So we've got that all mixed in now. Go ahead and lightly just cover this first layer up with the second layer. We're using a 14-inch cast iron, Lodge cast iron pan here. This is just the pan that I enjoy using on my smoker. I'm a fan of cast iron, so anytime I get to use them, I get excited. So this is the perfect recipe for this dish. We're going to come back and hit this with some of our cheddars. We're gonna mix this with our yellow cheddar on top. And I want to get it fairly thin coat on here. I don't want to overpower it. I do want to make sure I get some of this on. This is the extra sharp white cheddar. You definitely, most definitely want to hit your edges here with that cheese because we're all about that nice crispy edge. And this is definitely going to bring that to you. Alright guys, last step here before we put this delicious looking mac and cheese on the smoker. Remember we made these breadcrumbs. We want to go ahead and sprinkle these all over the top of this, nice and thinly, just for even coverage. This is optional. If you don't like breadcrumbs, then you don't have to put them on. I like that little bit of crunch they add to it. And they were browned up in some butter, so they're going to be nice and tasty. You can use a half a cup of this. You can even go up to 2/3 of a cup if you like it a little thicker on top. Our goal is here to have this cooked in 2 hours. So we're going to check it an hour in and then check it in at the 1.5 hour point. And if it's looking really good at the 1.5 hour point, we'll pull it. But if we think it needs to go a little bit longer, we'll let it go. We're looking for a little bit of bubbling action going on the edges and just color overall. So hey, let's get this thing on the smoker. All right, guys, so we're preheated 225 degrees. As you can tell, it's rainy, it's wet, it's cold. We sure are looking forward to this turning out good so we can enjoy this on this nice cold day. We're going top rack right in the middle there. See, we got some nice smoke rolling. We'll check back in an hour, guys. All right, guys, so we are 1 hour in, and it is drizzling pretty good right now. Let's open this up real quick, take a peek. Oh, wow, that looks delicious. Not gonna lie. Cannot wait. Everything's just looking right about this mac and cheese. All right, guys, here we are, 2 hours into this smoke, and let's lift the lid and see how this is looking. Yep, I think it's safe to say that this is on point and ready to come inside. Let's take this in and let it rest for a little bit. All right, guys, so here we are. We're 2 hours after smoking this mac and cheese at 225. We've been letting it sit on the countertop here for about 20 minutes, just let things kind of set up and cool down a little bit. Little backstory to this mac and cheese. Growing up, I have the fondest memories of my late stepfather that always was creative with making homemade mac and cheeses. Typically something we do around this time of the year, around the holidays, and I really miss that about him, and I miss the times that he would just start getting random things out and kind of just throwing a batch of mac and cheese together. So this was definitely reminiscent of one of those times growing up, and thought I'd take my own shot at it. So let's go ahead and get in a bite here. I want to come on this edge where got a little bit of crunchy breadcrumbs. This is going to be pretty warm, so I don't want to take a big bite. So I got a little poblano pepper there. Overall, texture looks really nice. Definitely looks creamy. Got a little pepper over there. We've got some breadcrumbs, another pepper there. And it's just, it looks like it has the right chemistry to be a tasty bite, and I'm starting to salivate over this. So let's go ahead and let's give this a shot. Oh yeah, that's delicious. It's kind of crazy just the depth of flavor this has with all those different cheeses. I'm still getting the crunchies in my mouth from the panko breadcrumbs, poblano peppers. Excellent little just hint of flavor there. Oh, I've got to have another bite of that. You see here, just everything about it just turned out just the way you'd want. And macaroni and cheese is one of those things where you'll have it off and on from different people, different places, and sometimes it's better than others. And when you do have a good mac and cheese, you're often like, man, that was really good. How do I make that? Well, I promise you, if the second bite's anything like the first bite I had, this is going to be your go-to mac and cheese. So let's give it another shot here. Hey guys, we're back. We're making some good videos. We're gonna have some more content coming your ways. We're gonna have a holiday smoke for the holidays. If you guys see anything out there that you'd like us to make, please share that in the comments. I'd like to hear your guys' recipes too. If there's something that you guys like, a favorite homemade macaroni and cheese dish or a holiday dish that you guys reminisce over during these times of the years, that'd be wonderful. And don't forget to like this channel, support us so we can keep making great content. Hit that like and subscribe button, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, we'll see you guys at the pit.